So guys, before we get started, don't forget we do have that amazing discount code thanks to Tier 0 Games going on right now. And all you have to do is put in ZW Games 5 to get 5% discount on your total order at tier0games.com. The links will be in the description below.
What's up YouTube, this is Joe from Z4 Games and I'm finally bringing to you guys an at Ignista deck profile. As you all probably know, I've been looking forward to this deck ever since it got announced in the OCG, as well as just seeing it being used in the anime. I've been a big fan of this deck. As Carl puts it, this is the new age DDD, before obviously MR5 comes around, but it plays similar to that, its style, in the sense that it likes to utilize all the summoning mechanics for its own purpose, and it's for its own advantage, and it can really use those summoning mechanics very well. Now, Ignistas are very consistent by themselves. Throw in some of the Playmakers cards, and you've got yourself a really powerful deck. It's something I'm really enjoying playtesting. As you can see, you can also summon things like Dark Food, which is one of your base form of negations. Very powerful negation at that. So I'm going to run through the profile. There are some proxies in here, as you will see, but I have ordered them. I'm just waiting for them to arrive. Hopefully they'll arrive on the day of recording this. But yeah, but I couldn't wait for those to arrive to show you this profile. I just had to bring it to you guys now. So, for starters, we're playing 3 copies of Picardi at Ignista. As you can see, I had to use one of my OCG copies for that. But Picardi is your rotor for your spells and traps, normal special summon. But it also lets you target a monster and change its level to 4, which comes very handy for your Xyz plays. Play 3 of this, and I played 2 Achis. One of the reasons I played 2 Achis, I can only have 2 Achis. As you can see, I'm waiting for my second one to arrive. I am actually thinking of getting a 3rd copy, just because Achi is one of the cards you do actually want to see in your opening hand, just to get your main combos going, as it is your rotor, as it is your Stratos for Ignista monsters on normal special summon. That's a graveyard effect where I think you can destroy a monster by card effect, your monster by card effect if it battles an opposing monster, which combos very well with Fire Phoenix, but we're not playing Fire Phoenix. And then we have 3 copies of Doyon at Ignista. Doyon is your recursion. When he's normal or special summoned, you can target at Ignista in your graveyard and return it to your hand. He's very good for your combos, and he's part of your combos as well. I'm playing 3 of it so you can see it. Your main things that you want to open up with is like a copy of Picardi, and either Achi or Doyon. So you can actually get away with only playing 2 Achi, and just play 3 Doyon, because Doyon is the cheapest one. The only main one you have to get 3 of is Picardi, just because Picardi is really important to a lot of your combos. In terms of like a budget, I did try to make this budget. There's 1 card which I'm really happy at the ratio I'm playing, which you'll see later on, which does make this a lot budget than it could be. So you'll see that later on. 3 Buru. You're playing 3 Buru just because you just need the Ignista names in your hand to just summon off your island. So I'm playing 3 Buru just because Buru is probably like the next best one after your Doyon, Achi, and Picardi. So I'm playing 3 copies of Buru. And then we're playing 2 copies of Doshin and 2 copies of Hyade. These are your ritual and fusion supporters, but also just being 3 summons as well if you control an at Ignista, which is very handy because they're essentially not having to be relied on the island to be special summoned. So it's why we're playing 2 copies of each, just because other than serving the purpose of what they do, like Hyade for its ritual and Buru for its fusion, they don't have that much other purpose, which is why you're only playing 2 of it, just because you still again need the at Ignista names. That's it for the at Ignistas. Moving on to Playmaker support, we're playing 3 copies of Lady the Bug. Came off the ban list and it's very handy at 3. It just essentially is your other copies of Achi, which is very good. in the deck, which is why we're playing 3 copies of it. You could probably drop this. I'll probably drop this down to 2 when I get the 3rd copy of Achi, just because I'd rather see more Achi than Lady the Bug. But at the moment, 3 copies are very, very good. And everything, 3 copies of Balance of Law. This is a really good extender for the deck, just because you can normal summon this, pay 1,000, get additional normal summon, and it's essentially just a free body for your link play. It's very, very handy. Also, its graveyard effect, or I say graveyard effect, its other effect when it's banished to special summon a monster from your hand for free, does come in handy a lot when it comes to your Cyberse Wicked. And I'm playing 2 copies of Microcoder. Microcoder is actually very good in the deck, and it's a card that I don't see any other Ignista players playing, which I think is just absolutely crazy. Especially if you've already invested in the Microcoder, you might as well try it out. And I'm trying it out. I wanted to try it out because I kind of wanted to just turn my Playmaker deck into a Playmaker I deck. So I play tested the Microcoder at 3. You know, if you've got the copies, you try them out the most, and then you just whittle down to the point that you feel like it's most consistent. And I'm really happy with the 2 copies, just because it's your additional form of extender while also being your additional form of a rotor, because this searches out Signet Mining, which then can search out any Ignista that you need, which is very, very handy. And all you need to play is a Code Talker in your extra deck. Luckily, we have a Link 2, which doesn't disturb away from your plays at all. So you can go normal and at Ignista search, Microcoder and at Ignista into Code Talker, search your Signet Mining, and then just go off from there. It's very, very handy. I'm very, very happy to be playing it. If you rarely get it on the field, you could search a Cyberse monster as well, so that does come in handy, but I rarely ever summon it on the field, especially since I'm not playing things like 1-for-1 to get it onto the board. But Microcoder is something I'm really happy to be playing, and I do advise, if you have it, try it out at the least. I'm playing 1 copy of Cyberse Gadget. It's just another form of a good turn 2 play extender, because you can also summon this, get back Actually you can insert, I believe it doesn't negate the effects. Yeah, okay, it negates the effects, but you know, the play is still there in the forms of summoning this, get back an Achi or another low level, then just go off from there. So it's very, very handy, and generating new token when it leaves the field does come in handy as well. So I'm just trying it out as a one-off to see how it goes. 1 copy of Backup Secretary. This is another form of an extender. Sometimes you just have those hands where your plays can keep going and you can get your board so long as you just have the necessary extenders. And Backup Secretary, in terms of a Cyberse deck, is probably one of the best, just because as long as you control Cyberse, you can just summon it. Done. Your whole deck is Cyberse, so including your extra deck. So this card will always be lying in terms of its effect to summon. So it's just, why not play it? Taking in for the last of the monsters, 1 Paladin of Storm Dragon. This is something I never thought I'd ever play. But Paladin of Storm Dragon is just absolutely amazing in terms of your ritual engine. So I'm really liking the Paladin of Storm Dragon, just because it's a level 4 ritual that you can just add to your hand of the witch to then just literally go off from there. You can then turn one of your level 4 Cybers into essentially this for pretty much free, because then you search it off witch, and then from that you can then just go into your rank 4, your synchro play, and then just go on from there. Like Paladin Storm Dragon is just really good. If you're not doing that, you are at least searching this and just using it as a fusion material, which then still does the same end goal of just getting the ritual in the graveyard for your Dark Fluid. So I'm really liking Paladin of Storm Dragon. If you don't want to play Paladin of Storm Dragon, you can try out the other 2 rituals. Essentially, you can swap this out for the other 2, which is either the Cyberse Magician or Water Dragon at Ignista. So I just go with Storm Dragons because it leads to less monsters. So that's it for the monsters. Moving on to the spells. The ratio that I think is going to just like blow off everyone's mind in terms of at Ignista play, and that is only 1 copy of Island. No, this is not just because I've only got 1 copy, but there's actual meaning to this as well. I feel I'm playing Island like a Orcus player plays Babel. You search this and that's it. More copies of this will just be dead in your hand. This can reset itself like Babel, so there's really no need to be playing multiple copies of this. You're just going to search this off your Picardy. You have 6 ways of getting to Picari, which is the free Picari itself and the free silent mining. 7 ways because I play 1 additional tech in the deck. So there's no need to play multiple copies of Island. If your Island gets outed, okay, yeah, that sucks. Next turn you're just going to reset it anyway. So I'm really liking Island as a one-off. It means that there's more space in the deck to play additional cards and additional extenders, additional searches. So I'm really liking the 1 Island. So if you are a budget player, you just need the 1 Island and that's it. You can actually play perfectly fine with just 1 Island. I'm playing perfectly fine with just 1 Island, and I find it more consistent as a one-off as well. If you open with it, cool. Your Picard is just going to search your other iCards. That's just it. Nothing else about it. So play Island like you do as a Babel for Orcust, and you'll be perfectly fine. I'm really liking it as just a one-off copy. 1 Solemn Great Sanctuary for help with the ritual play. You don't need to play it. I was playing perfectly fine doing the ritual plays without the Solemn Great engine, but I'm just trying it out at the moment and it does seem to be working very nicely. 3 copies of Silent Mining. Probably the only thing that just stops Cybers from being a budget deck, which does suck. So I'm looking forward to the ultra rare copies when they do come out. Null Devastator, so everyone can start going Playmaker. The Silent Mining is needed because it just searches out all your Agnesses, mostly your Picari, and your Doyons. So there's that. 1 copy of Silent Backdoor. Combos very well with Balancer Lord, and it's just essentially a 4th copy of Mining. I'll just bump this up to 3. If you can't afford mining, take out the 3 minings, bump up Backdoor to 3, and add in an Allure of Darkness. That's my advice to budget players out there, because I know mining is the most expensive card. Island you can get away with just getting the 1 of, and the other main deck monsters you can just like trade for. So, but the minings you can actually play without if you're on a budget. 1 copy of Signet Codec and 1 copy of Signet Optimize. Just more cards to search off your mining, off your microcoder. That does help benefit you. Codec, you still play like 2 Code Talkers in your extra deck, so you do get some good searches off the Codec. And the Signet Optimize is your additional form of additional normal. It's like your 4th copy of Balancer Lord. Playing 3 revival extenders in the forms of Monster Reborn, Idol Reborn, and World Legacy Succession. I'm going to think of bumping up Idol Reborn to 2. I'm just going to try it out. But at the moment, I like the 1-ofs, just because if I open up with all these cards, I can play all of them. And I think that's the most consistent way of looking at it. 1 copy of Idol Fusion and 1 copy of Signet Ritual. If you do play Water Leviathan at Ignista, I try out the Ignista Ritual, the Eyes Ritual, but at the moment I'm just playing these. You search your, this is to search off your Signet Bear Switch, and the Isla Fusion is to search off your Picari and your Doyon. And after that, the round up the deck is just 2 copies of Cool by the Grave. You can bump this up to 3 if you want, but I believe this is a 41 card deck already, so I don't want to add like additional Cool by the Graves and just like ruin the consistency, because sometimes that does happen and it does suck. You're like, I'm playing this to stop getting stopped, and now it's stopping me from playing. It just does suck a lot. Moving on to the extra deck. 1 copy of Firewall Dragon Dark Fluid. This is your big negation in the extra deck, while also being one of your ways of OTK. Like Dark Fluid just does everything. It's just so good, and you can make this very easily with 4 tokens, which you will see in an upcoming combo video. 2 copies of Dark Templar at Ignista. I love this artwork. I love this card. It's just so good. Very generic. It just takes 3 monsters with different names, I believe. Yeah, 3 monsters with different names. So you can play this in essentially any deck, so long as you just get the 3 monsters on board. Really good extender. Very unique in its summoning condition for its extending, but absolutely amazing. You need to play at least 1 copy of it, obviously, but you can get away with 1 copy. But you might as well just get 2 copies of it, because it actually does come in handy to have the 2nd copy. 1 copy of Transcode and 1 copy of Code Talker. These are the Code Talker targets that you play in your extra deck. If you don't want to play the second Dark Templar, I take that out for a X code. Just then that way your Code Talker variant of the deck is a little bit more consistent. But I didn't want to focus too much on the Code Talker variant. Though they do meld very nicely. I feel like going more towards the Ignister side than the Code Talker side. I'm just using the Code Talkers to essentially help the Ignisters just do a bit more extending, a bit more OTK potential. One copy of the Cyrus Witch, only for the Ritual Engine. If you don't want to play the Ritual Engine, obviously you just take this card out. And then you take out your Ritual bit out, and you take out the Salam Great bit out. And then you can have a lot more variety in your deck. That's what I love about this deck. There's so many ways to play it, so many ways to build it, and it all just depends on your playstyle. 2 copies of Cyrus Wicked. Still frustrated that this did not come as a super, with which it does deserve a super variant. Hopefully the next OTS packs will upgrade this to a super. It really does need to be a super. And then we're playing 3 Link 1s in the forms of 1 Link Grebo, 1 Baby Lynx, and 1 Link Disciple. I do like this ratio a lot. Obviously, the Baby Lynx is for the helping of the Ritual package. The Link Disciple is just another form of a Link 1 that just points down that you can just make very easily. And the Link Grebo, I am waiting on a second copy of Link Grebo, and I may take out the Disciple for it. But Link Grebo is a very good card in the deck, and I want to say it's a necessary component, just because it does give you trap protection. And at the moment, traps are running everywhere, so having the Link Grebo accessible to you is very, very handy, and I do highly advise getting at least one of it. And then for the non-links, we're playing obviously the Earth Golem at Ignister, 1 Light Dragon at Ignister, 1 Wind Pegasus at Ignister, and 1 Cyrus Quantum Dragon. A lot of people play 2 Light Dragons, and I understand that, and I may try it out. I may take up the Quantum for it, but I do love Quantum. I think Quantum is a very, very good card. It's the card I tend to go into the most, just because I like how you got the. I like having the 2 synchro options depending on the board that I'm facing. If I'm up against a monster heavy board, I'm going to make Quantum, because Quantum essentially outs 2 monsters by himself. One by beating over it, and one for its bouncing effect. Wind Pegasus though is very good for the back row decks. You know, you can make this and clear off 3 back row really mid combo, towards the end of the combo, and then you don't have to deal with 3 spells and traps. Light Dragon is obvious. You know, it's the Ignister XCs, and it's very easy to summon and pops monsters. And then also provides monsters as well to help you go with your OTK. And the Earth Golem is your fusion target. It's very generic and actually outs out the Spiral Board, just because it takes 1 Cyrus Link, no, 1 Cyrus monster and a Link monster. Spiral Boards end on, at the very least, a Trigate with a Apollosa, and Trigate is a Cyrus Link. So you can just go I Love Fusion or Super Poly if you're playing that in the side deck, which I would do, and then just go Super Poly, cool, Trigate and Apollosa. I make Earth Golem. I've just outed 2 of your negates. I just now have to deal with the Sleeper, which is not difficult at all. So that's it for the extra deck, and that's it for the deck in total, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it. I'm thoroughly enjoying this deck. It's now become one of my new favorite decks. It's just become one of my favorite decks to play. It's just so much fun. And as Carl said, it is the new HUDs. It fits my style. It fits the style perfectly, and it's just a lot of fun to play. So if you build the Playmaker deck, I highly advise picking up some of the Ignister cards as well, just because they are very generic in terms of just cyber stuff, and it's very fun to play. And I do apologize, this video is very long, but there's so much to explain. So I do hope you all enjoyed it. So as always, guys, like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, as always, happy dueling.